Here we are, another exciting day with Coach Manny and our weekly hangouts. I'm excited as always to be here. And I'm pumped up and I'm fired up more than usual. Yeah. Have I got you going? I hope so. Because remember, if you're not having a blast doing what you're doing, if you're not excited, if you don't wake up every morning and ready to take on the world, then are you really doing what you love? I don't know. And if you can't do that, I know people always say, well, that's crazy. How can you do that? You can do it. And I hope that you're doing it. And I hope that you're out there rocking the world just like I try to do every day. And every week on this hangout, we try to bring you excitement and we try to bring you a great piece of education for you as the business owner. So today, we're going to talk about building an effective campaign. Isn't that exciting? I mean, that's really what we're trying to do. How do we build that email campaign that works? And we're not going to talk so much about the technology side today as how do I put this thing together? And I'm going to walk you through, we'll build the Word document while we do this. And just to kind of show you, this is what you got to do. Then we'll deal with the technology. The technology piece, people say, well, that's hard. It's not. The technology piece is probably the easy piece because you can always find somebody to do it. But the campaign itself is what becomes critical. So I want to thank you for being here. We're here every Friday. Every Friday. So let me just do a few housekeeping tips. We got a lot of stuff going on. We hope you stay with us and watch all our stuff, reading our stuff. You know we're working on a new book on decision making after all these years and everybody telling me you got to write something on decision making. It's coming out the first of the year. But you as a listener and a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber, please get on our email list. You as a listener and subscriber are going to get the whole book over the next 12 to 15 weeks. On the weekly newsletter, we're going to continue to talk about it. So if you have any struggles with decision making, which I think most people do, you need this book and you need to read these articles. So let's talk. And this is a decision, right? What does the email campaign need to look like? And I'm going to run you through a simple example today, which I hope will set the framework for what you need to build your own campaign. And I'll try to share my screen a little bit. I'll try to stay off the screen and show you the picture. How's that? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. So many of you out there are thinking about, gosh, I'm going crazy. I come back from a meeting or I'm really trying to attack a certain group or whatever it is. And you're like, it's so much work. Well, that's where automation comes in. But before you can automate, you have to understand. So let's take a simple process, which I know everyone out there deals with, and I know everyone out there has to do. And that's like, I know most of you out there are networking, right? I mean, you're going to events, you're meeting new people, and you're wondering, what do I do with those things? What do I do? Well, what would you like to do? So let me go to my scribble sheet here. Okay, let's see if we can get the scribble sheet up on the screen for you and share. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, we're talking about building an effective email campaign. And that's really what we'll say, this is what we're trying to do. This is the project. We want to build an effective email campaign. So let's talk about the what. What is this campaign supposed to accomplish? And in this case, well, let's say what is the problem? And the problem is, and you always have to understand this when building a campaign, what is it you're trying to solve? So what is the problem? And the problem is follow up after an event. Let's use event. And so follow up after an event. And follow up after event is not being done on time, or not being done effectively. Or it's just a pain. So that's kind of the pain, right? I mean, let's face it, that's what many of you are dealing with. The problem is you're trying to do an email campaign and it's just not happening. So what are you going to do? So what we want to try to do is so the what is the problem, and now what is the answer? The answer is automation, right? Well, maybe, but the answer is really, let's think about this a minute. The answer is really a way to make it happen without having to do it all the time. All right. What you really want to happen, and let me flip back here so I can talk to you. What you really want to happen, let's think about this for a minute, is you'd like to go to an event. And then, at an event, you may meet 2 or 3 people, or maybe one person that that you never forget to follow up on, because this is a hot lead, or this is a hot prospect, or this is somebody I know I want to deal with. So you go out and you work that really effectively. But what about all the rest of the people? I may be at an event, or I may have my own event, or I may be an exhibitor at an event. And then what happens is I don't follow up. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that every person we meet, we follow up on. All right. So let's go back to our scribble sheet for a minute and let's start figuring some of this out. All right, here we go. All right, so if we want to figure some of this out, let's see what we want to happen. So what happens is we meet a new person, right? And we get a card or material or something with their contact data. You might get it into your system. I don't know. If you have a data collection system, if you're exhibiting at an event, whatever. But you meet a person and you get their card. So the first thing that needs to happen is that data needs to be what? Number one thing is we need to put the data in electronic format, because we can't do anything. Now, how are we going to do that? Let's not worry about that right now. Let's think through the process a minute and understand. I need the data in electronic format, because if it's not in electronic format, what the heck good is it doing me? So then the second thing I need to happen is I need to do some kind of email to say, what? Thanks for visiting, right? Or let's something like enjoyed meeting you. That's it. That's it. Now I want you to understand something. And this is where a lot of people make the initial mistake. This is where a lot of people mess up. This is where a lot of people really mess up, is when they put that email together and have you ever been to an event or somewhere and you get an email, and as soon as you get home, you get this long email with everything and anything. And it's just, we'd like to sell you this, and here's this, and here's, I'm like, I just met you. And if you watch some of our emails or some of our video on relationship building, you know how that goes. People just don't do it. So the first email needs to be really soft. And I just want to bring that point up before we go on. All right. So, and then what do you want to do? All right. So we sent them an email, and this acknowledges that we met them at the show. This acknowledges that it was a pleasure talking to them. Bam. Then what do we want to do? Then we may send them a second email, and I don't know what we're going to do there. But remember, the point is we've sent them 1, 2, and then we may even want to send them a third. third email. Right. And now, one of the things we can do, because emails, you want to ask the question, and after that, did they open 1, 2, or 3? And you may want to take some appropriate action based on the fact that people are opening, or if they didn't open anything, then you throw them out of this campaign, and I don't know where you put them. All right, so the sixth thing was if they didn't open any and once. So you see, you have kind of a decision here where you have to decide, well, okay, so what happens? And this is an interesting point because you can get this complex or you cannot. See, these 2 points here, you can say, did they open or didn't? If they didn't open, then maybe I don't really care too much. And if they didn't open, then maybe we just put them into a standard and you say, they didn't even open any of them, then you can do a couple things. One, you can just dump them. I don't recommend that. Or you can say put them on a regular list just to stay in contact. Okay. Now, if they opened it, that's a different story, right? Now, if they open it, that means, now, first of all, I want to say opened all 3. No, there's only one there, and I thought so. Opened all 3, or just opened any. One. Difference between. And I usually like to say opened all 3, opened 2 or 3, and opened 1. So you can get this complicated, or you can just say simply they opened it or they didn't. And you know what? For simplicity's sake, let's just say they opened. Bam. And you see what happens as you build the campaign. You don't want to get too complex. And that's where people sometimes they get frustrated. They're trying to build a campaign. And this is where the campaign is built. As I tell all my clients, the campaign is built right here. It's not built in the software. When you get to the software, you should already know all the answers, and it should be as simple as programming the answers and testing them. So we're gonna ask 2 questions here. And I always like to do this when I design this. This is a question. And so, did they open it? If they didn't open it, they just go. Now, if they did open it, then if they opened, did they open any of the emails? And if they did, then what we want to do is now we've sent them 3 emails. The 4th email, now we may want to give them a call. And just have a discussion. Okay. Now, that's it. That is the simplest follow-up email. We're going to add a few more things in here to make it a little bit more complex. But you know what? Let's go back up here now. All right. So an email to say, enjoyed meeting you. The second email says, if you, in my case, and you can put offer for free download of an ebook. And you all should have an ebook. I'm going to tell you that. So the third thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to send them an offer for a free download of an ebook. And then I may direct them to a web page. Or I may do it the opposite way. It doesn't really matter. Direct them to a web page that talks about something we do. Now, remember too that you can track, you can sit here and you can track that they downloaded the book, and you can track they went to the web page. Now, why do I need that? Well, because if they downloaded the ebook, they have some greater interest. So, discussion. Now, remember that you can say if they downloaded the book, ask if they read it. Enjoyed it. And if they went to the web page, again, ask how they liked it. You see, that's why we need that information. Isn't that amazing? All this, and this is the thing that so many people miss, all this we can do. Isn't that amazing? Now, what have we done there? I mean, let's go back and think about this for a minute. And what have we done? What have we done there? We have, in essence, now created an automatic campaign so that, and the thing that I do is I have a piece of automation on the front so that all I have to do is scan the card and the rest is history. And we'll talk about that in the automation process. But let's go back here a minute just to make sure that you understand. This is how you build an email campaign. And I'm going to show you some other things that you could potentially do based on this. But I want to just walk you through there. It's so powerful. All right, let's go back up here a minute. All right, you put the data in electronic format. This, I have a card. Photo to upload. Enjoyed your meeting. Second meeting, offer a download of the book. Third meeting, direct them to the web page. Did they have any emails? If they didn't do it, now why did I do this? If they didn't open any, I don't recommend it, but if they didn't open any, then leave them for now. They are not players yet. Point. Okay? Point. You need to understand here. The point is that work those who show interest. And it's all about a priority. And you know what? If you want these notes here that I'm writing up, you know what? Just send me an email and let me put that out there for you. Wow. We got a lot of sun blaring in here all of a sudden. I hope I'm not coming through. Let's see how I am coming through. God, what a morning we got. Let's see how that's coming through. Oh, yeah, way too much sun. Hold on one second. Let's decrease a little bit of that sun. I hate to get up in the middle of a webinar and do that, but we got some new lighting, which I hope is helping you to see us here better, but let's see if that gets a little better. We still got way too much sun. We're trying a little different broadcast piece here because one of the things that we weren't able to give you for too long was enough light. Hold on one more second and then we'll get back. Anyhow, what I'm saying is if you want these notes, just send me an email saying, Manny, I want the notes from that saying, Manny, I want the notes from the session, or and give me some feedback when when you give me those notes. Give me some feedback saying, wow, that was pretty good, or it stunk. Whatever, I don't care either way. Let's go back to the document because I want you to understand a couple things here. Oh yeah, and what is it? Oh, I don't want to say that. Well, you know what? I don't know. We got a little screen share. That's what I wanted. Sometimes the tool gets a little funky there. There we go. Okay. Anyhow, if you want this, just let me know. So let's go back up here to the people. So what you can do here is even more. You can put in here. They went to the web page, as a call, have a discussion, and then you can say email to me or the person who is supposed to do the follow-up. Bam. Okay. So that you even know what's going on. Wow. So what's happened in this campaign now, I just want to make sure you understand. Real simple campaign. I got a business card. I got it into my system. I sent 3 emails, and now I'm going to do a follow-up call to the people that opened the email. And I have done nothing. Now, really understand this, other than get the card put in the system. And if they opened any of the emails, what have I done? I have then decided to call them. And that is the powerful email marketing. That's a campaign. Now, what I'm going to do now, based on that information, let's go back up here. I'm going to put the card into the system. Now, I happen to use a product called Infusionsoft. And if you need information on that, just give me a, actually just go out to my web page under Entrepreneur Tools. And there's a link there. You can learn more about this web page, Entrepreneur Toolbox. So you can learn how we do that. But even if you had to enter it, or let's say you were exhibiting at a show, you could put that out there in and load it automatically from your collection system. Now, make sure that in this email, again, so what you do is you set up a thing to automatically send these emails. That's why it's so important that you have automation. And I don't want to not stress that enough for you. You must have an automation system. Now, I'm not saying you got to go buy Infusionsoft, because that's what I happen to use. But what I'm saying to you is whatever tool you use, it needs to be able to automate this process so that these things happen automatically and you do not have to manually do them. And then we're going to send another. Now, if you don't have an ebook, you need an ebook, or you need an ebook maybe from somebody you work with or somebody you recommend, or let's say you're in a financial planner. I know you got an ebook from somebody you work with in whatever industry. You need something. This is free information. People like it. It's got to be relevant to what you're saying. And if they want it, they're going to download it. And the third thing is you direct them to a web page. I direct them to our sales process, which they can look at. It says, hey, we got this tool. You can do all these things to it, and you can do it yourself. Bam, bam, bam. Now, bam, that's it. Now, and then you track, did they open any of the emails? And the system does it. See, that's the beautiful thing of automation. And if you need any information on this, you know how to find me. My email, my phone number, and I'm going to give them out again here. Just give me a call. And let's put them out there right now, because sometimes people say, you don't put that information out there fast enough, Manny. Let's see if I can get there or not. To everybody. And let's see if I can chat here. Doesn't want to let me chat. Hold on one second. Let's open the control room real quick. Yeah, we didn't even have that open right. And then I'll go to chat here and I'll say just a couple pieces of information. 856-358-4021. Call. And then Manny at MannyNowak.com. Email. So they should be in your sidebar now, are they? Yeah. Okay. So call me, email me. Either way, if you need some further information, we always like to help you there. But, you know, and always, as always, we're running out of time, right? So let me just go back through here and do one more thing with you to make sure that you understand. And again, if you need that document, just email me and let me know. Okay, so if they open, bam. And now, what can happen now? What happened here is we tag these people who didn't open. They go into our regular email list now. And every week, personally, what we do is we send them a newsletter and bam. Then we do some further checking on that. These people now, once you make the call, you're going to make a determination and you may set up another campaign. This is the bare bones minimum start here. If you don't have anything, get this in place. This will solve your number one email campaign problem, which is I go to networking, I have events, and I don't follow up. This little piece can take care of that problem. So you never have that situation again. And then your biggest problem comes, I got to put them in. Okay. And that's now, the other thing, oh yeah, let me go back and show you one more thing, because I'm sorry. What you need up here is you need, let's get this guy and then we'll share. One more before we give this to you is we need, I'd like to just put this out there, but I can't do that. Okay, so when they come in here, put card in, upload, and then we use what's called a tag. So we tag this as a business card input. All right, so we do that. And let me just save this file, save as, and put this out there for you because I want to make sure, you know, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is we do these things and then we wipe out what we do here. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's the campaign. That's the simplest one. We'll show you some more as we move forward. And if you have questions, please get them into me, email them to me if you have. I want you to really get into using automation, because with automation, you're going to save money, you're going to save time, but more than both of those, you're going to work the right items and the right priority to get things done. Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm excited this morning already, and I'm rocking and rolling, and I hope you're having a great day today. Please, you know, email me any questions. Go out, check out our website. You know, we have some great tools out there. If you want to be a guest on this show, please send me an email and saying, you know, Manny, here's something I think I would really like to share. I want to be a guest on your show. We'll see if we can get you in here. All right. Again, we're out of time. Again, I want to say thank you for being here today. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Any questions, send them to me on this campaign. Get it done, get it put up, and start making sure you're following up your work. This is Coach Manny, and I'll leave you, as I always do, with that great saying from my wonderful friend, long gone now, Burl Walk, who said, go out and make it a better world. Thank you.